Well, hi guys, it's that time. It's our Bible teaching snippet of the day. Well, today I want to go back to my yesterday's Tuesday testimony, and I want to clarify some things that I said, because at the end of that testimony, I talked about that I only pray in the name of Jesus. But before I do that, first let me start and say this one more time. I can never say it often enough. I love to lay hands on and engage little children to pray with me to receive healing for themselves. Now, usually if I'm working with an adult and if I have prayed for you, you know this, I will tell people I don't want you to pray, because as adults, we've been so trained to think that it's a rewards program. You know, if I do something, God will do something for me. And if I beg God, maybe He'll do it. And if I have enough faith, maybe I can get healed. So we have a lot of stinking thinking, right? But with little kids, it's totally different. Children are just simple. It's like Jesus said, they have childlike faith. They have not been indoctrinated to think a lot of crazy stuff, okay? So when I have a little kid in front of me and I squat down and I take them by their hand and I want them to repeat after me and declare their healing, they just receive healing like that because they don't have unbelief. Unbelief is being taught things that make you wonder if what you want will or will not happen. And little kids just don't have that yet, okay? So let me say that one more time. I absolutely love not only to heal children, but to teach children how to lay hands on to heal. Did you know children have better results at seeing people healed than adults too? Because they're using their faith toward getting that person healed, and they just believe that healing is supposed to happen, so it does. Okay, let me keep going. Yesterday, during that teaching snippet, I talked about, or the testimony, that I went to a hospital and the little boy's mother, the 4-year-old who had been diagnosed with malignant cancer in his back, and there was a knot back there, she was a Jehovah's Witness. And I listened to my snippet and I thought, my goodness, Faye, you are so mean. And I'm not mean, guys, okay? I just get aggressive sometimes when it comes to standing my ground on what I believe. And I am a Jesus believer. If it's written in red, I believe it. If Jesus did it, I'd do it. If Jesus said it, I'd say it. And if He told me to do it or say it, that's how I'm going to do it. And that's really what I was trying to get across yesterday. So if I sounded a little gruff, I didn't mean to. So what I want to talk about today is that, you know, honestly, guys, I've never had to refuse to pray for anybody before. I have never had to. Because I said this yesterday in that testimony. Did you know that it doesn't matter what your faith is, what you believe in, if that person believes that their loved one can get healed or not die, they will let you pray in the name of Buddha, they'll let you pray in the name of Muhammad or whoever, they don't care. They will even engage in these New Age spiritual things. They're desperate to get their loved one healed and for them not to die. And I'm not blaming them and I'm not throwing rocks. I'm just explaining that when you are in a crisis, you're willing to get help any way you can get it. And I'm going to just stop here and say this. Do you know that's why so many people will do exactly what doctors say? They never ask a doctor not one question. If a doctor tells you to sit down and squat and cluck like a chicken, we just hit the floor and start clucking and chucking, right? We never, like when somebody's diagnosed with cancer, we never say, well, I'm going to have to get another opinion. We never ask questions about, well, how many people live that get chemo, because the doctors aren't going to want to tell you that only 2% of people, it's actually like 2.7% of the people that take chemo and radiation actually live to tell their story about getting over cancer, okay? But we never ask. We never even look a doctor in the eye and say, what are the side effects of this medicine? If I start taking this medicine, how hard is it going to be for me to get off this medicine? If I take this medicine for a year or so, what other prescriptions are you going to have to write to fix the side effects of the one that you're fixing to put me on? So we don't ask questions. We just run with whatever. And honestly, it's just that we are sometimes desperate and don't even slow down to ask. And I've even seen people reach out to witch doctors to try to get family members healed, okay? So let me just, from there, I'm going to leave that alone, but you really need to pray about who you're really trusting, and are we really trusting Jesus, or are we just desperate for whatever we can find to fix the problem? And that's why I stand so strong on the name of Jesus, okay? I'm not moving off of that, guys. So, but what I wanted to say today is I have never, ever turned anybody down to pray for them, okay? Because anybody that's ever asked me to pray, regardless of their religion or what their belief system is, has never told me that I could not pray in the name of Jesus, including the lady at the hospital that was a Jehovah's Witness. She never even rebuked me, tried to argue with me or anything until after I had finished praying and she felt like she had gotten what she wanted me to do out of the way, and then she could argue with me. Now, with that said, people don't understand that either. If I'd have stood there arguing with her, it's a possibility that that healing would not have manifested, because the powers of darkness would have came in and overthrown what I had prayed for with the little boy. That's a deeper, different teaching, but anyway, we just need to mind our words and what we speak, what we allow other people to speak, as well as whether it's doctors, nurses, family members, or whatever. And here's another thing I just want to throw in while I'm just kind of doing an off-the-cuff teaching today. Did you know sometimes when we are in contention and strife, and I see this a lot in hospitals, families are at each other's throat and arguing and angry, and even people who are battling diseases like cancer and stuff, they are in the midst of a very stressful lifestyle, arguing and fussing. And you know, the Bible tells us where there's envy and strife and contention, there's every evil work. And I can't think of anything more evil than a terminal disease that 98% of the time ends in death. So yes, we need to mind our words when we need to pay attention to our words every single day. But I want to clarify, out of all the years, and I think I'm going into 8 years now, that I've laid hands on people, I have only had one person tell me no, they did not want me to pray for them. And it was a lady that worked at a McDonald's, and she had a knee brace on, and I just asked her, I said, can I, and she worked there, and I asked her if I could speak to her, and she came over to the side a few minutes later and sat down. And of course, now I put my hand right here on her wrist, and I said, I was wondering if you would let me lay hands on you to heal you today. And she was very nice. She wasn't mean. And she said, well, I don't believe in any of that stuff. And I said, it's okay, you don't have to believe. And she says, well, I just really wouldn't feel right letting you pray for me. And guys, she was so nice about that. But watch, the reason she said that she didn't feel right about me praying for her is she was living in an alternative lifestyle with another woman, and she just didn't feel like it was right for somebody to pray for her for healing, knowing that she was living that way. Okay, but watch, I'd already put my hand on her, and when I went out in my car, I went on and prayed for her. Well, I actually spoke healing over her in the name of Jesus. I don't ask people if I can pray for them, because when I ask people, can I pray for you, they have zero expectation. I go straight forward, what I want to happen, and I tell them what I want. I would like to lay hands on you to heal you today, okay? Then I always open in prayer, thanking the Father that it's His will for them to be healed, and then I will command the sickness or disease or the pain to go in the name of Jesus, and then I wrap it up with another little bit of thanksgiving prayers as well. But that's what I do. I do not ask people if I can pray for them. I ask them if I can lay hands on them, which is biblical. Jesus said believers would lay hands on the sick. He didn't say I'd go around saying, can I pray for you? Okay. But let me explain. Now, I've never been told, no, I can't pray for somebody, and I've never been into an argument or anything like that about me praying in the name of Jesus. So I want to clarify that from yesterday. But I do want you to understand why I feel the way I do about praying and speaking and commanding in His name only, okay? I'm over in John chapter 14, verse 6, and Jesus said to him, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. And no one comes to the Father except through me. Did you get? I am the life. If I'm going to impart life into people, I have to do it through the name of Jesus. There's no other name. Okay. The next scripture I want to show you here, it's in John chapter 14, verse 12 through 14. And this is Jesus. I tell you the truth, whoever believes in me will do the same things that I do. I'm a believer, so I'm going to do the same things Jesus did. Those who believe will do even greater things than these, because I am going to the Father. And if you ask for anything in my name, I will do it for you, so that the Father's glory will be shown through the Son. If you ask me for anything in my name, I will do it. That's why I ask and speak and pray in the name of Jesus. Okay, the next one is John 15:16, and this is Jesus in red. You did not choose me, I chose you, and I give you this work, to go and produce fruit that will last and remain. Then the Father will give you anything you ask for in my name. Okay. John 16, verse 23 and 24. In that day, after his resurrection, speaking of Jesus once he resurrects, in that day you will not ask me for anything. I tell you the truth, my Father will give you anything you ask for in my name. Until now you have not asked anything in my name. Ask and you will receive, so that your joy will be the fullest possible, made complete. Now this is Jesus saying that up until that point, they haven't been asking Jesus, but once he resurrects and he gets what he declares in Matthew 28, verse 18, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. So once he is the possessor of all authority after his death, burial, and resurrection, then we will ask in his name. And watch, and this is so beautiful, it says, so that your joy, he wants my joy to be complete. And that's why he wants to be able to give me whatever I ask for in his name. The next scripture I want to show you, and this is one of my favorites, it's in Acts chapter 4, verse 12. Jesus didn't say it, I just like to use it to bring what I'm talking about together, to tie it together. I guess this is the bow on top of the package. Acts chapter 4, verse 12. And there is salvation in and through no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given among men by which we must be saved. Now I want to talk to you about that word saved. That word saved is soteria, and in the Greek what that word means is there's no other name under heaven that you can speak for people to be delivered, to be healed, to be saved, to be rescued, to be made safe and sound. I use that name and that name alone because he has all power, all authority in heaven and on earth and even under the earth. And by his name alone, the name of Jesus, can people actually receive soteria. And soteria is to be healed, delivered, saved, kept safe and sound, rescued, all of the above. And it's in his name alone. And that's why I always pray in his name. Okay, guys? I love you, and I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.